Hey, good morning, everyone. Another day, another morning for a drive along. Let me take my solar shield or windshield, whatever, out that I made. Actually made this. Let's see here. I have to fold it. And fold it again. Make it a little bit more compact. There we go. Oh. The window just fogged up on me as soon as I got in. There we go. Let's get going. I left a little earlier today. Slightly earlier today. Leaving slightly earlier today. Alright. Look here. Put the seatbelt on. Seems like it's a little bit more humid than usual. There we go. Kid's gonna wait. All right, there we go. Oh, it's bright and sunny today. I think there's a lot more humidity today, this morning, than normal. That's okay, I'm okay with that. Oh boy, so what am I gonna talk about right now? What's my rant for today? Well, I woke up this morning and looked at the Bitcoin price, and it crashed. I wouldn't say crashed, but it broke through 9,000, went up to like 9,800 and something, and then that was last night. And then when I woke up this morning, what do you know? Just took a cliff dive to almost 9,000. We'll see if it can hold above 9,000. Interestingly enough, I did have someone buy Bitcoins from me before the pump. So I thought that was interesting. So I knew there might be something happening or something going on where there's people are buying. I was looking at local Bitcoins, and I saw an abnormally high amount of sellers or listings for sellers. Sometimes there's not that many sellers. There's just like people who put 4 or 5 different listings, so it adds up. But over 100 listings for cash deposits in the U.S. And anytime I see cash deposit go to like 3 pages long, I think there's an abundance of demand. Also, the price has been low, so people probably have been buying, and so they're very quick and eager to sell. And so there is a short-term demand, because I had a buyer buy from me. I don't list on local Bitcoins, so if you're fortunate enough to know who I am or get in contact with me and actually get some Bitcoins, then you're very lucky. You can still purchase them anonymously. So, in any case, so I thought that was unusual. So I felt that there was going to be a short-term demand, and by the time you watch this, it's probably a little too late, because it is April 25th now. So by the time you watch this, which may be, I don't know, middle of April, January, February, March, April, May, probably middle of May or end of May. Probably a little too late, but I'll still talk about it. I think here's what I think is going on. People who use Bitcoin, who are using Bitcoin, are essentially buying Bitcoin, causing demand in the marketplace. And then once they use their Bitcoin, and whoever the vendors are people who accept Bitcoin as payment, they're the ones that are eventually dumping, or they have an oversupply, and somehow that eventually makes its way into the exchanges, into the market pricing at least, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the dump. So it's like a caterpillar. You know how a caterpillar, like they squirm, it squirms, and then it releases and squirms and releases. That's kind of what you're seeing. You're seeing the Bitcoin as a currency, as a payment method being used in the marketplace. Value route transfer, whatever you want to call it. So you're seeing a demand, which drives up the price. A lot of people are purchasing Bitcoin for use, okay, real world use, and that's driving up the demand. And then what's keeping the price kind of going up further than that are the speculators. So the speculators see this jump in price, thinking that it's a breakout or it's whatever, some technical analysis, and they're slowly buying into it. And that's where you see the initial price going up, right? You see the initial price spiking up, and then it continues to kind of just go up, and you see it kind of just going up and up and up. That's speculation. That's the speculation part. And now that everyone is looking to cash out of their Bitcoins, especially the people who are accepting Bitcoin as payment, now that they're looking to cash out, now you're seeing the dump. It doesn't mean that they're directly dumping, but eventually they do sell it to probably people who have exchanges, and essentially what they're doing is they're doing arbitraging, which is simply they're buying and selling instantaneously at the same time, and to reduce the risk. So for example, if I was a buyer and I also had an exchange, I would buy Bitcoins over the counter. Sometimes you get them at a discount if you could buy them at a very large amount, sometimes not. Sometimes you still pay a premium. But to reduce your risk of price fluctuations, what you would do as soon as you bought X amount of Bitcoins, I mean, as soon as it shows up in your wallet as unconfirmed, and or even one confirmation, you dump just as many Bitcoins on the exchange. And so you're using the exchange as a hedge, as a arbitrage opportunity, especially if you're getting at a discount, or if one exchange is higher than the other, so you may make a little bit more or break even, whatever. And so that's what I think is eventually happening in the marketplace. Now, the reason why the price may be slightly higher than what it was before is because you have the stupid speculators. See, this is where the stupid speculators come in. They're the ones that are holding. And so the price is slightly higher. Eventually they'll realize that they're not going to make their gains or profits, or their profits are very limited. They'll eventually cash out themselves, and then the down market, I think, will eventually return. Recovery, as far as recovery, when the price of Bitcoin goes above its all-time high, then you're in recovery. Until then, I think this downtrend market is still intact, and it's still a bear market for me. And the reason why it's a bear market for me, it's simple. I still have Bitcoins. So until I actually run out of Bitcoins to sell or to offer up, I really won't be buying any Bitcoin, because I already have Bitcoin. See? So anyway, a little Bitcoin rant today. Also, I've been looking at different diets to increase my testosterone since I'm a man. One of the things I've been looking at is different diets and incorporating more raw egg, or at least the raw egg yolk, into my diet. So I've been experimenting with something called takago or something, or it's a Japanese dish. It's basically rice and raw egg. So I did some modification variation of it. I don't know if I can stomach a raw egg, like the whole thing is raw. So I just take the yolk, I separate the yolk, and I put that into the rice. And I do fry the whites with some kind of oil, vegetable oil or grapeseed oil or whatever, coconut oil, something with good fats. And I use a lot of I use a lot of the oil, quite a bit actually. So I fried the whites, and then what I do is I take the yolk part, leave that raw, put that into the rice, mix it with the rice, and then also I add some salsa because it has, tomatoes and onions and all this other stuff. Gives it a little bit of flavor for me. I also add some beans into it, so I put some beans, just a tablespoon. I just take a regular tablespoon, scoop up, dump it in there with the rice and yolk already mixed, and then I add some red pepper paste to give it, more flavor, capsaicin to increase saliva and just give it more taste for me. Mixed it up, and it was palatable. It was good. I enjoyed it. So, and then the fried egg, the fried whites, egg whites with the oil, I also put that on top of it, and I also dump all the oil in there as well. So it kind of added flavor to it, and I think it's overall healthy. So I incorporated that recipe into my diet. I've noticed now that I've changed my diet. It's only been a couple days, but I'm already feeling the effects and incorporating more calisthenic lifting with my own body weight as I ride my bike, and also doing weightlifting. And so as I also do weightlifting and incorporating a different diet and everything, I have noticed that I am more exhausted at night. I feel really like I slept like a log, but not exhausted when I wake up. I feel really refreshed when I wake up. I've also noticed my overall muscle feel like it's growing. I mean, it feels like they're getting bigger. I actually feel it getting bigger. It's strange. Now, it could be all placebo because I kind of believe in this whole thing working. So one of the things I've noticed is if you believe in something, even though it may not be true, like a placebo effect, it does have a positive effect on your overall body. And so the power of believing is quite strong. Anyways, that's it for my rant. Talk to you later.